Princess Mira of Xiren was not like the other royals of her planet. While most of the noble families prided themselves on being slim, graceful, and perfect in every way, Mira had always been larger. She carried her weight easily, laughed freely, and moved through life with a joy that few could understand. Some nobles whispered behind her back, calling her the indulgent princess, but Mira did not care. To her, happiness and curiosity mattered far more than appearances or etiquette. Mira had always been fascinated by Earth. She had read countless reports, seen thousands of holo recordings, and listened to diplomats describe the strange blue planet where humans lived. Earth was messy, loud, and chaotic, but it was full of life, and Mira longed to see it for herself. She wanted to meet humans, understand their ideas, and see their inventions up close. Her chance came when a delegation from Earth arrived on Xiren. Among the group was a human named Leo. He was not handsome in the way Xiranians defined it, but there was something about him that caught Mira's attention immediately. He had a calm confidence, a gentle voice, and eyes that seemed to notice everything. Unlike the nobles who constantly tried to impress her, Leo did not bow, did not flatter, and did not seek status. He simply was. From the moment he stepped into the palace gardens, Mira felt a spark of curiosity and excitement. She watched him from behind a marble column as he studied the alien flowers, touching their leaves gently, asking questions about their biology. No one had ever treated her palace with such innocent interest. Most visitors were too busy marveling at her wealth or at the size of her throne, but Leo seemed focused on the world itself. Over the next few days, Mira found herself drawn to him. She arranged accidental meetings in the library, the observatory, and the palace greenhouse. Sometimes she pretended to need advice on human history. Sometimes she claimed she wanted to see Earth customs firsthand. Leo, oblivious to any hidden motives, spoke freely, laughed at her questions, and shared stories of his planet. Mira found herself smiling more than she had in years. Other nobles began noticing. Whispers spread like wildfire. The princess spends all her time with a human. She chooses to learn from a foreigner rather than her own advisors. Some disapproved openly. Some feared this was a scandal that could weaken the throne, but Mira ignored them. For the first time, she felt truly alive, truly herself. Meanwhile, King Zorak, her father, watched everything from his grand throne. He was a traditional ruler, proud of his lineage and the power of his family. To him, marriages were about alliances, about consolidating strength, about preserving the royal bloodline. A human, fragile, weak, and untested, was no suitable match for a Xiranian princess. He frowned as he watched Mira speak with Leo in the gardens, their laughter echoing in the air. The king could not understand what drew his daughter to this outsider. "You will meet the eligible nobles next week," he said sternly during one private council meeting. "You must choose wisely. A marriage is not about feelings. It is about the throne, about the people, about your duty." Mira bowed respectfully, but inside her mind was already made up. "Yes, father," she said politely, but her heart whispered a different answer. The day of the audience arrived. All the nobles who hoped to wed the princess assembled in the grand hall. They wore the richest fabrics, the most intricate jewelry, and the brightest smiles. Each had their own reason to claim the throne through marriage. Some were clever strategists, some were powerful warriors. Others had wealth rivaling the palace's treasury. All of them believed they were the best choice. Mira entered the hall, her presence commanding yet gentle. She did not wear a crown or a strict gown. Instead, she chose a flowing dress in soft blue that allowed her to move comfortably. The nobles stared. Some gasped. Others whispered. They expected her to display the usual regal detachment, to show that she was considering them seriously. But Mira's eyes searched the room for only one person, Leo. Leo had been invited as a guest, not a contender. He stood quietly in the back, unsure what to expect. When their eyes met, Mira's lips curved into a small, confident smile. He returned it with a gentle nod. The king stepped forward. "Princess Mira," he said, his voice booming, "today you must choose a mate. One among these nobles shall stand beside you as future ruler of Xiren. Choose wisely. Choose honor. Choose duty." Mira took a deep breath. She looked at each noble, their eyes bright with ambition. She saw their pride, their calculated manners, their desire for power. And then she looked at Leo, standing quietly, observing the scene with honest curiosity. She realized in that moment that she had already made her choice. "My choice," Mira said, her voice steady and clear, "is Leo." A stunned silence filled the hall. The nobles froze. The king's eyes widened in disbelief. "What did you say?" he demanded. "I choose Leo," Mira repeated. "Not for power, not for wealth, not for the throne. I choose him because he is kind, wise, and brave. He makes me happy. He sees me for who I am, not for what I am supposed to be." Whispers spread like wildfire. Some nobles looked furious. Some looked hurt. Some could not believe a human could even stand as a princess's partner. King Zorak's face turned crimson, a mixture of rage and shock. You cannot," he shouted. "A human is weak, fragile. He cannot rule Xiren. He cannot even survive our environment." Mira did not flinch. "I do not ask him to rule Xiren. I only ask him to be beside me. To share life, to share love. That is enough. That is more than enough." The hall seemed to hold its breath. Leo, now realizing the weight of the moment, stepped forward slowly. "Princess Mira," he said, his voice calm, "I am honored by your choice. I am ready to learn, to grow, and to do my best to stand with you." Mira smiled. She could feel the tension in the room shift slightly. The people who mattered most, the ones with courage, kindness, and intelligence, understood. True strength did not come from wealth, titles, or even physical power. It came from the heart, from loyalty, and from the courage to make difficult choices. King Zorak turned sharply, his voice trembling with fury. "This is unacceptable. You will regret this decision, Mira. I will not allow a human to dishonor our family or our planet." Mira held her ground. "Father, I am still your daughter. I am still a princess. But I am also my own person. I will not choose duty over happiness. I will not let fear decide my life." The king's advisors whispered urgently among themselves. Some were loyal to the king. Others quietly hoped Mira's choice would inspire change. It was clear that the princess had made a statement. The old ways were being challenged and the future was uncertain. That night, Mira and Leo met in the palace gardens under the glow of Xiren's twin moons. The air was fragrant with alien flowers, and the soft hum of distant fountains created a peaceful melody. Mira turned to Leo. "I know my father will not accept this easily," she said softly, "but I cannot let fear dictate my heart." Leo took her hand gently. "I will stand with you," he said, "no matter what comes. I am ready for whatever your world brings, Mira." She smiled, feeling a warmth she had never known before. For the first time, she was not just a princess of Xiren. She was a woman who had chosen her path, who had embraced courage, love, and freedom, and for the first time she felt unstoppable. Far above, in the palace tower, King Zorak stared out at the city of Xiren, his mind racing. He could not understand how his daughter, his only heir, could choose a human over the throne. His pride burned. His rage grew. He vowed that he would find a way to reclaim what he believed was rightfully his. But for Mira, the night was calm, full of hope, and alive with possibility. The path ahead would be difficult, yes, but she had chosen love. And that choice gave her a strength that no army, no throne, and no king could take away. And somewhere deep inside, she knew that Leo's presence in her life would change not only her heart, but the destiny of her planet as well. The palace of Xiren was alive with whispers. From the grand marble halls to the highest towers, the news of Princess Mira's choice had spread like wildfire. The nobles who had hoped to marry her were stunned, their faces painted with shock, disbelief, and in some cases, anger. For them, the idea that a human, an outsider, a creature from a small blue planet, could become the companion of the future queen was unthinkable. But the person most shaken by this decision was King Zorak himself. His pride had been wounded, his authority questioned, and his vision of the perfect future for his kingdom shattered in a single announcement. He paced the vast corridors of his private chambers, his long cloak trailing behind him, his eyes blazing with fury. "This cannot be allowed," he muttered to himself. "A human cannot take the place of a Xyranian prince. It is impossible. The throne, the honor, the legacy, they cannot be entrusted to someone so fragile." The king summoned his council immediately. The chamber filled with nobles, advisors, and generals, all eager to hear what their ruler would do next. Zorak's face was hard, his voice sharp and commanding. "You have all heard Princess Mira's decision," he said. "She has chosen a human over the throne of Xiren. This is not only disgraceful but dangerous. We cannot allow this to continue." An older general spoke first. "Your Majesty, perhaps the princess is simply young. She may change her mind when she realizes the responsibilities she bears." Zorak's eyes narrowed. "No, this is not youth. This is defiance. She has made her choice and it cannot stand. We must act." The advisors murmured, some nodding, others shifting uncomfortably in their seats. Many had long feared Zorak's temper, and none wanted to openly challenge his authority. Yet some quietly worried about the consequences of taking extreme action against the princess, who was beloved by the people for her kindness and curiosity. Zorak continued, his voice rising. "Prepare the fleet. I will go to Earth. I will speak with this human myself, and I will bring my daughter back. No creature from a distant planet will dishonor Xiren while I live." A stunned silence fell over the chamber. Even the most loyal generals exchanged uneasy glances. Traveling across the galaxy to confront a human on their home planet was unprecedented. It was risky, potentially dangerous, and uncertain, but Zorak's determination was absolute. Meanwhile, Princess Mira could feel the tension building even from her private quarters. Though she had made her choice with confidence, she knew her father would not accept it easily. She had seen the anger in his eyes and the rigidity of his expectations. But she also knew something else. She had chosen Leo because he had shown her a strength far greater than her father's authority. Leo, too, sensed the growing storm. He had been training, learning, and observing Xyronian technology, hoping to understand what challenges lay ahead. Though he was human and Earth had no advanced fleet to match Xiren power, he trusted his intelligence, creativity, and courage. And most importantly, he trusted Mira. One evening, Mira and Leo met in the palace greenhouse where the alien flowers glowed softly under the gentle lights. Mira's fingers brushed over the petals as she spoke, her voice calm but firm. "Leo, I know my father will come. He will bring his fleet. He will not simply accept my choice. We have to be ready." Leo nodded, studying the intricate patterns of the plants around him. "I know, Mira. And I want you to know something. I am not afraid. I may be human, but I am not powerless. We can find a way to face him together." Mira smiled. "You are stronger than you realize. And that is why I chose you." They spent hours discussing plans, ideas, and possibilities. They talked about Earth, its people, its cities, and its technology. Mira shared knowledge about Xiren, its energy systems, and its advanced science. Together they began to imagine a way to face King Zorak that did not involve war, but cleverness, strategy, and trust. But King Zorak's journey had already begun. Across the galaxy, his fleet prepared for the jump to Earth. Massive ships bristled with weapons, their hulls shining like silver under the light of distant stars. Thousands of Xyranian soldiers stood at attention, awaiting the orders of their king. The mission was clear. Find the human, retrieve the princess, and return her to Xiren by any means necessary. Back on Earth, Mira and Leo began preparing as well. They explored cities quietly, learning how humans lived, where they could hide, and how they could communicate without attracting unwanted attention. They discovered that humans were clever, adaptable, and brave in ways that mirrored the qualities Mira admired most in Leo. Mira used her royal abilities to subtly interact with Earth's technology, learning from the humans who were eager to share knowledge. Leo, in turn, used his understanding of Earth systems to create safe spaces where they could meet, practice strategies, and prepare for what was coming. Despite the looming threat, Mira never lost her cheerfulness. She laughed easily, teasing Leo gently, asking questions, and encouraging him. Leo found that her presence brought him a sense of calm and purpose he had never felt before. Together, they felt like a team capable of anything, even facing a galactic king. As the weeks passed, King Zorak's fleet drew closer to Earth. Onto the command bridge of his flagship, the king studied Earth through advanced sensors, his face darkening with impatience. "Where is this human hiding?" he demanded. "Where is Mira? I will not be denied." His generals reported continually, though each report seemed to frustrate him more. Humans were resourceful. They had created cities that were difficult to scan completely, technologies that interfered with alien sensors, and people who were brave enough to confront intruders. Zorak's confidence was tested for the first time in decades. Meanwhile, Mira and Leo used these delays to their advantage. They learned to move quietly through Earth's landscapes, using forests, mountains, and cities as cover. Mira marveled at Earth's diversity, at the different people, cultures, and ideas. She found herself inspired not only by Leo's courage, but by the creativity of humans themselves. One day, while hiding in a remote forest, Mira looked up at the sky. "Leo, do you see that?" she asked, pointing at a glimmering streak far above. Leo squinted. "That must be part of Zorak's fleet. They are closer than we thought." Mira nodded. "Yes, but that is why we have to be smart. Brute force will not help us. We have to be clever. Use what we know and the humans' knowledge to stay one step ahead." Leo smiled, determination in his eyes. "Then we will. Together we will find a way to keep you safe." Their bond grew stronger with each passing day. They practiced small strategies, built clever devices from Earth and Zyronian technologies, and learned to anticipate the movements of Zorak's fleet. Mira's knowledge of Zyron's advanced systems allowed them to create diversions, while Leo's ingenuity adapted those systems to Earth's environment. Yet despite their successes, Mira knew that the final confrontation was inevitable. Her father would not be deterred for long. The king's fury was legendary, and his determination unmatched. Every new tactic they developed, every clever device they built, was a step toward the moment when they would face him directly. One evening, sitting beside a quiet river on Earth, Mira spoke softly to Leo. "I know my father will come for me. He will want to take me back by force if necessary. But I also know this. He cannot understand love, not the way we do. He cannot see strength in kindness, courage in patience, or power in choice. That is our advantage." Leo nodded, holding her hand firmly. "We have something he cannot take away. Trust, courage, and each other. That is more than any fleet or weapon." Mira leaned her head against his shoulder, feeling the steady heartbeat of a human who had become her world. For the first time, she felt that even the most powerful king in the galaxy could not crush her spirit. Not when she had chosen her path, not when she had found someone willing to stand by her side. And far above, in the void of space, Zorak's fleet edged closer to Earth. The king's fury burned like a star ready to explode, and his determination to reclaim his daughter was absolute. He would not be denied. Yet the princess and the human had already begun their plan. They were not hiding in fear. They were preparing, learning and growing stronger with each passing day. They knew that when the moment came, when the confrontation could no longer be avoided, they would face it with courage, intelligence, and heart. Mira whispered into the quiet night, "Father, you may come with all your power, but you cannot take my choice from me. I have chosen love, and love cannot be conquered." Leo squeezed her hand. "And I will stand with you no matter what comes." The future was uncertain, the challenge enormous, and the stakes higher than ever. But Princess Mira and Leo had discovered something even more powerful than fleets, weapons, or fear: the strength of trust, the courage to defy expectation, and the determination to protect what mattered most. The galaxy was about to watch as love, intelligence, and courage faced the wrath of a king. And for Mira and Leo, the adventure was only beginning. The skies above Earth were calm and bright, but far beyond, in the endless blackness of space, a massive shadow moved silently. It was the fleet of King Zorak, shimmering like a swarm of silver predators, their weapons ready, their engines humming with raw power. Every ship was a fortress, bristling with technology the humans could barely imagine. Zorak himself stood on the bridge of the flagship, his eyes fixed on the blue planet below. "This is their home," he said, his voice hard and cold, "and I will not allow it to shelter my daughter from duty. Prepare to descend. We will find her, and we will bring her back to Xiren." The generals nodded, understanding the gravity of the mission. Zorak had come not just as a father, but as a king, wielding authority that spanned planets. The humans below were unprepared for an encounter with such power. Back on Earth, Mira and Leo were in a small hidden laboratory in the outskirts of a city. Mira had used her knowledge of Xyronian technology to adapt devices that could hide them from Zorak's sensors. The lab was small but filled with strange gadgets, glowing panels and maps showing the fleet's possible approach paths. Leo studied the maps with determination. "They'll likely land in areas with minimal human activity first to search quietly. But they'll scan everywhere eventually." Mira nodded. "We have to be ready. This is not just about hiding. We need to anticipate their moves and create diversions. If we can make them look in the wrong place, we can buy time to plan our next move." For days they worked tirelessly. They learned how to mask their signals, using Earth's own systems to confuse Xyronian sensors. They tested decoys, holographic projections, and small drones that could mimic their energy signatures. It was exhausting work, but every step brought them closer to a sense of safety. Then, one afternoon, the first ships appeared in the sky. They were enormous, casting shadows over forests, rivers, and cities as they descended. People on the ground looked up in awe and terror. Governments scrambled jets and satellites, but their technology was no match for the Xyronian fleet. Mira and Leo watched from a concealed position atop a quiet hill. "They are here," Mira whispered. Her heart raced, but she refused to let fear control her. "Now we must stay clever, no panic. Just strategy." The first wave of ships landed in a remote valley, scanning the area carefully. Mira and Leo had predicted this, and their decoys worked perfectly. The sensors detected false energy signatures, leading the Xyranians to empty fields and abandoned buildings. The real humans and the princess remained hidden. As night fell, Mira and Leo moved through the countryside, using forests and caves to stay out of sight. Mira marveled at Earth's beauty, the quiet rivers, the gentle rustle of leaves, and the stars shining above. For a moment she felt calm, as if the entire universe were watching and protecting them. But they knew the calm would not last. Zorak was relentless. He would search tirelessly until he found his daughter. The next challenge came when one of Zorak's scouts detected a small human settlement nearby. The aliens moved quickly, using advanced scanning technology to locate humans who might be assisting Mira. Leo devised a plan. They would use mirrors and reflective surfaces to scatter the sensors, creating false readings. Mira adapted Xyronian energy fields to enhance the effect. The plan worked. The scout ships reported empty terrain, giving Mira and Leo more time to move. But it was clear that Zorak himself would be arriving soon, and with him his full authority. Meanwhile, Zorak was growing impatient. He hovered above a major city, scanning the population for his daughter. "Where is she hiding?" he demanded. "She cannot escape me forever. Prepare to escalate. I will not leave Earth without her." Leo and Mira realized that staying in one place was too dangerous. They needed allies and safe locations. They began moving from city to city, using Earth's natural geography and human ingenuity to remain unseen. They encountered people who were willing to help, inspired by Mira's courage and the idea that love could challenge even the greatest power. One evening, as they rested in an abandoned warehouse, Mira spoke softly to Leo. "They are not just after me because I am a princess. They fear what I represent, a choice. They fear that someone can value love and courage over duty and fear. That is why they will come with all their strength." Leo nodded. "Then we must show them that strength comes in many forms. Not just power, not just weapons, but intelligence, heart, and courage." Their movements became increasingly daring. They traveled through underground tunnels, across rivers, and over mountains, always staying one step ahead of Zorak's forces. Mira's knowledge of Xyronian technology allowed them to create small shields and cloaking devices, while Leo's understanding of Earth systems helped them improvise when necessary. During one narrow escape, they encountered a Xyranian patrol near a small town. Mira quickly activated a cloaking device that shimmered over their bodies, making them nearly invisible. The patrol passed by, scanning the area without detecting them. Mira and Leo held their breath until the danger was gone, then quietly continued their journey. "You were amazing back there," Leo whispered, his eyes shining with admiration. Mira smiled, brushing back a lock of hair. "We make a good team. Never forget that." Days passed and Zorak's presence grew more intense. The humans who had been assisting them began reporting strange sightings. Large ships hovering silently, unusual energy readings, and occasional encounters with advanced scouting drones. Governments were increasingly concerned, but no one knew how to respond. Zorak was powerful, and his technology was far beyond anything on Earth. Despite the pressure, Mira and Leo continued to learn from each other. Mira taught Leo about Zironian energy fields, the principles of faster-than-light communication, and the ways her people used logic and precision in their technology. Leo shared the ingenuity of humans, how creativity, adaptability, and problem-solving could overcome even the most advanced threats. Together, they began to see that combining their knowledge could create solutions no single world could achieve. One night, as they watched the stars from a quiet hillside, Mira turned to Leo. "Do you realize what we are doing? We are facing one of the most powerful rulers in the galaxy, and we are finding ways to stay ahead." Leo smiled. "Yes, and we are not just surviving. We are learning, growing, and preparing. When the time comes, we will face him together, and we will not be afraid." Mira's eyes glimmered with determination. "I am proud of what we have accomplished. But we must remember, this is only the beginning. Zorak will not give up, and his full power will be difficult to face." The next morning, a new challenge emerged. Zorak had decided to land a small strike team in a forest near where humans had been helping Mira. The team was equipped with advanced sensors and weapons designed to capture the princess quickly. Leo quickly formulated a plan. They would use Earth's natural terrain to create false paths, set decoys, and mislead the alien patrol. Mira assisted by using her knowledge of Zironian energy fields to create invisible barriers and interference patterns. The patrol walked right past their real location, following a trail of holographic illusions. Mira and Leo silently moved to another safe zone, hearts racing but spirits high. "This is getting harder," Mira whispered, "but each challenge makes us stronger." "We are learning faster than he expects," Leo nodded, "and we are proving something important. Even a human and a princess can face a galactic king, not with weapons but with courage, intelligence, and trust in each other." As they moved through the night, Mira looked up at the stars and felt a strange mix of hope and anxiety. Zorak's fleet was massive, his technology advanced, and his determination absolute. Yet she also knew that their bond, their ingenuity, and their willingness to act wisely were just as powerful as any weapon. They paused at a riverbank to rest. Mira leaned against Leo, watching the water sparkle under the moonlight. "I wonder what my father will think when he sees that we are not afraid, even with all his power." Leo smiled, holding her hand. "He will learn that strength is not just in fleets and weapons. It is in the heart, the mind, and in the courage to make difficult choices, and that is something no king can take away." The stars above seemed to shine a little brighter that night, as if the universe itself were witnessing the courage of two beings from different worlds. The fleet of Zorak loomed in the distance, relentless, but Mira and Leo were ready. Not with brute force, but with strategy, heart, and ingenuity. And somewhere far above, King Zorak's eyes scanned the earth below. He was growing impatient. He could sense the resistance, the clever evasions, and the determination of the humans and his daughter. But he could not yet find her. His anger burned hotter with every failure, and the final confrontation was approaching. Mira whispered to Leo, her voice steady despite the tension. "We have learned much, and we have grown stronger. When he comes for me, we will be ready, not just to survive, but to show him that courage, love, and intelligence are greater than fear." Leo nodded, eyes fixed on the horizon. "And I will stand with you always, no matter what comes." The world was about to witness a clash of power, courage, and heart. And for Mira and Leo, the adventure was only growing more dangerous, more exciting, and more meaningful. The sun rose over Earth, painting the forests and cities in golden light, but far above, King Zorak's fleet hovered silently. Every ship was ready, weapons primed and sensors scanning tirelessly. His patience was gone, replaced by a determination that burned hotter than any star. Zorak had underestimated humans, underestimated Earth's ingenuity and underestimated his daughter's courage. On the ground, Mira and Leo were already in motion. They had learned much from the last encounters with Zorak's scouts, and they knew that the next wave would be faster, more aggressive, and better prepared. The human cities provided resources, allies, and creative minds, while Mira's knowledge of Zironian technology gave them an advantage the king did not anticipate. Leo studied a city map in the hidden laboratory. "They'll likely split their forces," he said. "Some will hunt directly for us, others will try to cut off escape routes. We need traps, decoys, and backup plans everywhere." Mira nodded, adjusting the energy panels around them. "We can combine Zironian energy shields with Earth technology. I can create interference patterns that will confuse their sensors, and you can use human engineering to make the diversions realistic." Together, they began constructing a network of clever defenses. Holographic illusions projected false images of them moving across forests and cities. Drones disguised as animals created disturbances that drew patrols away. Small devices emitted energy signatures mimicking the princess, making it nearly impossible for the king's sensors to locate them. As night fell, the first patrol arrived in the city outskirts. Mira activated a shield that rendered them invisible, while drones and holograms ran across the streets, tricking the patrol into chasing ghosts. Leo monitored the signals, adjusting them in real time. The aliens became frustrated as their technology failed repeatedly. "This is working better than I hoped," Leo said, smiling. "They can't tell what's real and what's not." Mira grinned. "We are proving that intelligence can overcome power. That is our strength." But Zorak was growing impatient. From the flagship, he observed the city and the failed patrols. "Enough," he growled. "Send in the strike teams. I will find my daughter myself if I must." Meanwhile, Mira and Leo traveled across rivers and forests, moving from one safe location to another. They communicated with humans who had assisted them, teaching them basic principles of Zironian technology that allowed them to help with diversions, decoys, and communications. These humans were amazed not just by the technology, but by the courage and clarity of the princess. In one clever maneuver, Mira used a combination of Earth satellites and Zironian energy fields to create a massive illusion. From orbit, it appeared that she was standing in the middle of a city square, waving to the fleet. The Ziranian sensors locked onto the signal immediately, but when the strike team arrived, they found only empty streets and ordinary humans going about their lives. "They can't anticipate this," Mira said quietly, watching the screens. "Their technology is advanced, but it cannot think creatively like humans can." "That is our advantage," Leo nodded. "And it proves that strength is not only in weapons, it is in cleverness, cooperation, and adaptability." The couple continued their journey, moving swiftly and quietly through mountains, rivers, and forests. They faced small skirmishes with patrols, but every time they found new ways to outsmart the Ziranians. Mira's ability to adapt Zironian technology and Leo's resourcefulness created an unstoppable combination. One evening, they arrived in a small village where humans had prepared a safe house. The villagers had built hidden tunnels, secret rooms, and energy shields using instructions from Mira and Leo. "This place is incredible," Mira said, looking around. "It is safe, clever, and full of heart. Humans are truly remarkable," Leo smiled. "It is more than technology. It is the courage and creativity of people who choose to help, even in danger. That is what gives us strength." As they rested, Mira looked out at the night sky. "I wish my father could see this. Not the fleet, not the power, but the intelligence, courage, and love that can overcome anything. That is real strength." Leo took her hand. "Perhaps one day he will understand. Perhaps we can show him a different way to rule, a way that respects courage and choice instead of fear." The next day brought a challenge. A strike team had located one of the safe houses. Mira and Leo moved quickly, using a combination of cloaking fields and diversion drones. The aliens followed false signals into the forest, encountering holographic duplicates and decoy devices that caused confusion and hesitation. "This is exhausting," Leo said as they moved to a new location. "But it is working. We are making progress." Mira laughed softly. "Every step forward teaches us more. Every escape shows us new possibilities. We are growing stronger, Leo. And so is the world that chooses courage over fear." As days passed, the encounters grew more intense. Zorak deployed more ships, more patrols, and more advanced technology. Yet Mira and Leo's teamwork continued to prevail. The humans who joined them learned quickly, creating obstacles and clever distractions that further frustrated the king's forces. Mira realized that this was more than survival. It was a demonstration of something important, that intelligence, courage, and heart could challenge even the most powerful ruler in the galaxy. She felt pride not only in Leo, but in all the humans who had risked so much to help them. One night they were cornered near a cliff by a small patrol. Mira quickly scanned the environment and activated an energy field that reflected the moonlight, creating dozens of false silhouettes. Leo set up a series of small devices that emitted sounds and energy bursts in different directions. The patrol was confused, unable to determine the real location of Mira and Leo. Eventually, the aliens retreated, leaving the couple unharmed. "That was close," Leo said, breathing heavily. "But we did it," Mira smiled. "We did it together. That is the point. Together we are stronger than any fleet, any king, or any weapon." The following days were a blur of movement, strategy, and clever planning. Mira and Leo combined human ingenuity with Zironian technology in ways that even Zorak could not have anticipated. They created false cities, holographic streets, and energy shields that masked their movements. Every encounter taught them something new. Every escape increased their confidence. Finally, Mira realized that the next step would require more than evasion. They would need to confront Zorak not with weapons, but with strategy, courage, and intelligence. They began preparing for that moment, gathering information about the fleet's position, weaknesses, and potential tactics. Mira turned to Leo one evening, watching the stars reflect on a calm river. "Soon we will have to face him directly. Not in anger, not in fear, but with the strength we have built together. He may have power, but we have something he cannot take. Courage, intelligence, and trust." Leo squeezed her hand. "And love. That is something he will never understand, but it gives us the greatest strength of all." Mira nodded. "Yes, love, courage, and intelligence. That is our weapon." As the fleet of Zorak hovered above Earth, scanning relentlessly, Mira and Leo moved with purpose. They were no longer running blindly. Every movement was calculated, every action deliberate. They had learned to combine Earth's creativity with Zironian technology, and they were prepared for the confrontation that was coming. King Zorak, observing from his flagship, grew frustrated. The humans had outsmarted him at every turn, and his daughter had shown ingenuity and courage that he had not expected. Yet his determination remained absolute. He would find Mira, and he would reclaim what he believed was rightfully his. But Mira and Leo were ready, not with brute force, but with intelligence, strategy, and heart. They were no longer just survivors. They were a team capable of challenging the greatest power in the galaxy. Mira whispered into the quiet night, "When he comes, we will show him that strength is not only in weapons. Strength is in courage, intelligence, and love. That is something no fleet can destroy." Leo nodded. "And we will stand together. Always." The stars above seemed to shine brighter as the universe watched. Two beings from different worlds, united by choice and courage, prepared to face a king who could wield power over planets. The final confrontation was approaching, but Mira and Leo had discovered a truth stronger than fear. That heart, mind, and courage could change the course of destiny. And so, the adventure continued, more dangerous, more exciting, and more meaningful than ever before. The sky above Earth was alive with movement. King Zorak's fleet hovered like a silver storm, massive ships casting shadows across forests, rivers, and cities. The humans below watched in awe and fear as the alien armada advanced. But the true focus was on one hidden pair, Princess Mira of Xiron and Leo, the human who had captured her heart. Mira stood atop a hill, her hair glowing in the sunlight, her eyes scanning the horizon. Beside her, Leo checked their devices, ensuring that every decoy, every hologram, every energy shield was ready. The time for hiding was over. Zorak would come for her directly, and they had to face him, not with weapons alone, but with courage, strategy, and heart. "We can do this," Mira said softly, turning to Leo. "He has power, but he does not understand the strength of choice, the courage of the heart, or the intelligence we have built together. That is our advantage." Leo nodded, gripping her hand. "We will stand together. No matter what happens, we face him as equals with wisdom and courage." Below them, the humans who had assisted them prepared safe zones, shelters, and communication networks. They had become part of a plan that combined Earth ingenuity with Zironian technology. This was no longer just a fight for survival. It was a demonstration of what cooperation, intelligence, and courage could achieve. Far above, in the flagship of the fleet, King Zorak's eyes blazed with fury. He had tracked their movements, analyzed the decoys, and encountered every clever trick they had devised. Still, Mira and Leo had remained elusive. Now he decided it was time to confront them personally. "Prepare the landing," Zorak commanded. "I will not be denied. My daughter will return to Xiren, and no human or planet will stand in my way." Massive ships descended near the hidden valley where Mira and Leo had taken position. The ground shook under their weight and sensors swept the terrain. Yet Mira had anticipated this. Energy shields and holographic decoys shimmered across the valley, scattering the sensors and confusing the fleet. "Here they come," Leo said, checking the signals. "Remember, our strength is not in hiding. Our strength is in strategy and heart. Be ready." The first of Zorak's strike teams landed, their armor gleaming under the sunlight. Mira activated a series of cloaking fields, moving herself and Leo silently through forests and rocks, while drones projected images that made it appear as if they were scattered across the valley. The aliens searched tirelessly, but each path they took led to empty space. Zorak, seeing the confusion, grew angrier. He descended personally, accompanied by 2 elite guards, their presence powerful enough to make the ground tremble. "Mira," he bellowed, "I have given you everything, and yet you choose a human over your duty, over your throne." "Come with me!" Mira stepped forward, her stance confident and unyielding. "Father, I am still your daughter. I am still a princess. But I am also my own person. I have made my choice, and that choice is Leo." Zorak's eyes narrowed. "You defy me. You dishonor Xiren. You are my heir, and yet you choose this?" His gaze swept over Leo, assessing the human with disbelief. "He is weak, fragile. How can you trust him?" Mira shook her head gently. "Strength is not only in power, size, or weapons. Strength is courage, intelligence, and heart. Leo has all of these and more. That is why I chose him." Zorak's guard stepped forward, weapons raised. Mira and Leo moved in perfect sync. Mira activated a Zironian energy shield that created a reflective barrier, causing the guard's sensors to read false positions. Leo threw devices that emitted holographic images, making it impossible for the guards to locate them accurately. Confused and frustrated, the guards stumbled, giving Mira a moment to step forward. "Father," Mira called, her voice calm but firm, "look at what we have done. We have not run blindly. We have used intelligence, creativity, and courage to face your fleet and protect Earth. That is the real strength of leadership." Zorak's eyes flashed with anger, but there was hesitation. He saw the humans below working together, risking their lives to aid Mira. He saw her confidence, her calm in the face of his wrath, and for the first time, doubt flickered in his mind. You think this is strength?" he demanded. "This is chaos. A human cannot lead. A human cannot stand with a princess." Mira stepped closer, holding Leo's hand. "Leadership is not about fear. Leadership is about choice, courage, and the ability to inspire. These humans have helped us because they believe in what we stand for. They have shown that cooperation and intelligence are more powerful than brute force." Zorak's expression softened slightly, though pride and anger still battled within him. He studied the humans, saw the clever devices, the coordination, and the courage in their eyes. Slowly, the reality sank in. His daughter had not acted out of defiance or weakness. She had acted out of wisdom, courage, and love. Mira continued, "Father, I am still Zironian. I am still your daughter, but I will not let fear or tradition decide my life. I have chosen love, and that choice makes me stronger. If you truly care for me, you will see that this choice does not weaken Xiren. It strengthens it." Zorak's shoulders sagged slightly. He had ruled with strength, with fear, and with power. But in that moment he realized that there was a different kind of strength, one that came from heart, courage, and intelligence. He had underestimated his daughter, underestimated humans, and underestimated the power of choice. Finally, Zorak lowered his head. "Mira, you have shown a strength I did not understand. Perhaps I have been wrong." Mira's eyes softened. "It is never too late, Father. You can see that strength comes in many forms. You can choose to accept it, or you can resist and remain alone in your anger." The king remained silent for a moment, then slowly gestured for his guards to stand down. "Very well," he said. I will not take you by force. I see now that your choice is your own. But know this, Mira. You must lead wisely, and you must never forget your people. Mira smiled, relieved and proud. I will, Father, and I will do so with courage, heart, and wisdom. Leo stepped forward. Your Majesty, I am honored by your understanding. I promise to stand with Mira, to protect her and to support her in any way I can. Together we can create something stronger than fear or power alone. Zorak studied him carefully, then nodded. I see the courage in you, human. Perhaps there is hope for the universe yet. With the confrontation resolved, Mira and Leo turned their attention to the fleet. Zorak, now understanding the value of cooperation, withdrew the main ships from Earth, leaving only patrols to monitor from orbit. He had come seeking revenge, but instead, he had witnessed courage, intelligence, and the power of choice. Mira looked at the humans who had helped them. You have all shown incredible courage, she said. You have risked much to help us, and I will never forget it. Together we have proven that strength is not only in weapons or power, but in heart and intelligence. Leo smiled, holding her hand. This is just the beginning. We have shown what humans and Xeranians can achieve together. Imagine what we can do when we work side by side. The people of Earth and the hidden allies rejoiced quietly, knowing that a new future had begun, one where cooperation, courage, and love could face even the greatest power in the galaxy. Mira and Leo returned to their small, safe base for a moment of quiet reflection. Mira looked at the sky, thinking of her planet, her father, and the journey they had undertaken. We have faced incredible odds, she said softly, and we have not just survived. We have grown, learned, and proven that courage and love are the greatest strengths of all. Leo nodded, and we will continue to grow together. We will create a future where intelligence, heart, and bravery are valued above all else. Days later, Mira returned to Xiran. Not as a princess forced by tradition, but as a leader chosen by wisdom and courage. She was welcomed with awe and respect. People saw that she had faced the greatest power in the galaxy, not with fear but with intelligence, courage, and heart. King Zorak, standing beside her, finally understood that ruling through fear was not the only way. Leadership required vision, courage, and the ability to recognize strength in unexpected forms. Mira had taught him that lesson, and he would carry it with him for the rest of his reign. Together, Mira and Leo established a new alliance between Earth and Xiran. They shared knowledge, technology, and ideas. They built bridges between worlds, proving that cooperation and courage could overcome fear and power. Love, intelligence, and heart had not only protected Mira, they had changed the destiny of 2 planets. Mira stood once more in the palace gardens, hand in hand with Leo, looking at the twin moons of Xiran. This is our world, our choice and our future, she said softly. Leo smiled. And we will face it together, always. The universe had witnessed courage, intelligence, and love overcoming the greatest power. And Princess Mira, once judged for her size and her choices, had shown that true strength comes from the heart, from bravery, and from standing by the ones you love. The stars above seemed to shine brighter that night, reflecting the promise of a new future, one where courage, choice, and cooperation could change the galaxy forever.